Hello, I'm Judy Stiles. Thank you for joining us for Spotlight on Senior Issues. This series of programs is looking at topics of interest to senior citizens, but also their family members, the children and grandchildren, fastest growing segment of our population. Today we're looking at what to do with all that stuff. And joining me, we have Thad Richardson with Caring Transitions. And once again, Kristen Hanna's joining me on the program, helping out with one of our students. And today we're talking about estate sales, but thinking of senior citizens, everybody, I guess, in general, has a lot of stuff. Are you seeing a lot of those questions today as people look at their houses that are bulging at the seams? What do we do?
Yeah, a lot of family members and stuff are also looking at planning ahead for parents and stuff to see what are we going to do with mom and dad's stuff, because we don't know, they don't necessarily want it in their homes and stuff, but also what to do with it and everything, because it's too much to do a yard sale or a garage sale with. So that's where an estate sale can be beneficial. So we can come into the house, organize everything, and do a one-day estate sale. Everything's individually priced. It's displayed so everybody can see it. So it's kind of like everyone can come in and shop in a retail store.
Okay. Do you feel, you said what to do with your family. Communication sounds like the first step. Talk to mom and dad. What do you want to do with all this stuff?
Yeah, talk to mom and dad. There's many different types of sales. Being what we do, being a national franchise, being from downsizing, so mom and dad's moving to assisted living and can only take one bedroom suite versus the 4 that they have. So being able to just take a portion of what they have, or the kids lost their loved ones, lost their parents or something, and they don't know what to do with anything in the home. So contacting us, we can come meet with them face to face and just kind of take a look and see what's the best option for them. Going from estate sales to a buyout or doing a relocation, so we can do it all.
There's a lot of ways things are involved.
Yeah, a lot of ways, obviously, to, sell the things after your parents are gone. But what are some opposing ways to kind of rid the house of things, like an auction or something? What's the difference between auctioning and
the best way I can describe from what we do doing an estate sale to what an auctioneer can do is we can give the estate more respect. So because everything has been cleaned, everything's organized in the home, and it stays in the home. So then that one day people are able to come in and just shop like it is a retail store. We turn the house into a store, where an auctioneer is most likely going to pull everything out to the yard and auction it off in the front yard and stuff. So they don't come in and do the prep work like we do. So we spend 2 or 3 weeks in the home before the sale prepping everything to do the sale with. So we're able to go through everything, pull the personal photos and personal paperwork out and stuff, where an auctioneer most likely would not be doing that.
Now, when people are looking at a household of stuff, whether it's your parents or grandparents, and they know eventually that time's going to come, then they're not going to be able to live in that home, as you say, maybe downsize to assisted living, and they want to go through that process of what do we start getting rid of? I've heard older people say, well, I need to start getting rid of some stuff.
Yeah,
Where do you start with that starting phase? The
starting phase, what we tell everyone is don't get rid of anything. Let us do that. So something you may think isn't valuable is valuable. So when a family member wants to start doing anything, we tell them just go through the photos, go through the paperwork, the file cabinets and stuff. That saves us time to where we can work a little bit quicker. But then some families don't want us going through their family's paperwork or financials or anything like that. So if that's the first place to start, is the paperwork and the photos and stuff, because that takes the longest. And then, but we always tell everyone, don't throw anything away. So if you're unsure about something, just leave it and let us make the judgment to see if it's worth something, because one person's junk is another person's treasure.
Yeah, so I think you talked about another option of buying out, which is something that you're able to do if it isn't enough for a whole estate sale.
Yeah.
Can you kind of describe what buying out is as opposed to estate sales?
Well, we have a long list of buyers that we work with. They are collectors, they're antiquers, or they have resale shops in the area. So say we get a call and grandma lived in an apartment and she'd only had just a 1-bedroom apartment. Not really enough to do an estate sale. Some apartment complexes won't allow an estate sale to happen in the building. So that's where we can contact the buyers. They come in, take a look at it, and whoever has the highest bid will then get the item. So we can still help. We can still help get rid of everything in the home. It just doing it a different way versus an estate sale.
Right.
So lots of options.
A lot of options there. Well, when you look at what could be in a home, somebody, senior citizen, may be living there 50, 60 years if they're 70 and 80 years old. They got a lot of items that they've had in that home. Inventorying must be a major task when you go in and just say, how many cookie jars do we have? How many pieces of china?
Well, that's where we're able to go through everything, and we're using every square inch of the house to display. We bring in shelving units, tables to display everything on. We're taking the doors off the kitchen cabinets and stuff to use those as shelving, the kitchen counters. So we're able to go through and organize everything, and we zone it too. So all the kitchen stuff is going to be in the kitchen.
Okay.
We're going to get all the holiday stuff and put it in one room together. All the linens in the house are going to be in one area. So it's just going to be exactly like the retail store. You walk into Walmart and you're going to find everything together. So we want that same, make it easy and shoppable for everyone.
Now, when you say shoppable for everyone, who would then come to the estate sale? Are these publicly advertised? I can walk across the street and go to my neighbor's sale.
Yeah, we have them. We personally advertise with 3 newspaper ads, 3 local newspapers, and then we have 2 online websites that we advertise everything on. Okay. We take photos of everything that's going to be in the sale and put it on the online website, so everyone's going to know what's in the sale before they even come. Yep. So they know what's going to be there before they come. And we actually have a following of over 4,000. So we send out an email before the Monday before the sale, letting everyone know that we're having an estate sale. It's going to be located in this town. The address is posted online and in the newspapers the Thursday before the sale for security reasons. Right. So we really take care of everything.
To the last minute to let people know exactly where it's going to be.
Yeah, we just let them know the location, the city and stuff, but then they're able to go online, view everything that's going to be in the sale, and then they can judge on how early in the morning they want to get there and wait to be number 1 in the door to be able to get that certain item that they saw.
So it's first come, first serve.
Yeah, it is first come, first serve. So when how we work is, because we normally have a pretty good group of people that come first thing in the morning. An hour before the sale, we start handing out entry numbers. And each house is a different size, so we're not able to let everybody in at once. Right. So we'd try to get around 20 to 25 in the door at first. Sometimes we're able to do more, sometimes we're able to do less just because of the size of the home.
So find out the situation.
Yep.
So it sounds like a lot of different options and ways to sell the things in the house. I know you guys don't actually help sell the houses, but you're able to connect them with a certain realtor then?
Yeah, we do have a realtor that we work with that belongs to another senior group that we belong to in Joplin. And so we're able to recommend someone for them to look at and everything to do the sale of the home. We are able to sell cars, boats, RVs, so anything with the title, pretty much.
You need to find those titles if you're dealing with an estate.
So we can do anything with the title, but we just do not do the actual real estate property.
But have other options, obviously, to help people and recommend people.
Yeah, we have a list of people that we can recommend and stuff. Just being in that, it's like a BNI group. Being able to people that we work with closely from time to time and stuff. We meet regularly, so we know what's going on with different businesses, and that's kind of how we get our referral list from each other. So if they need someone, they're looking for someone to come into the home to help grandma out or something and stuff, we know someone who can help them with that. So being able to just be a referral process.
Well, I know you have given us a copy of some brochures, but you also have a website, and I think we'll probably call that up while we're talking. But this, as we're going along, there's a lot of resources, and of course online is one of those resources, as well as the printed materials.
Yes, yeah. And online they can call, ask questions and stuff, but also send us emails. They can fill out a form online that sends it to us, that lets us know you're looking for someone to come in and look at the home. Gives us name, number, phone, name, number, email address, or something. We can get in contact with them. So.
Well, I noticed on your website, and people probably saw it, relocation as well. Sometimes grandma or grandpa might live out of town, and the kids say it's time for them to move closer to us. Downsize and move back to our town or something. So you can help with that. Yeah,
we can look and see. Depending on where they're moving to, our office covers roughly around the 60-mile radius around Joplin, Missouri. So we're covering the 4-state area. If they're living here and they're trying to relocate them to another state, we can look and see where the closest office is to them and
you
help
work
them
with
with
one of
that
your offices
process.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we can take care of everything here, packing them, getting them on the road, and then doing an estate sale with everything that they don't want to take with them. And then the office in the next city can help them get unpacked from the truck and settled into the new home. So it's a lot less stressful on the family and everything, to where they don't have to take time off work or anything like
Load
that.
up the rental truck and drive
Yep.
up them themselves
Yep.
and get it there.
So I think you said some comment to me before the show that like not any estate is too large or too small. So can you tell me about kind of the varying estates that you've dealt with?
Oh, we've dealt with little 500 square foot homes that were bulging at the seams, and we've done storage units. We are currently working on one that is a home plus storage units, and we will be doing 2 sales in the home, one to empty the house and then one to empty the storage units. So we're able to work and help the customers out as much as possible as we can to liquidate anything they need to. But then we have the large 3,500 square foot homes with barns and everything that we can help with, where they lived out on a farm and they had all the equipment and everything too. So we can just about do anything. So I mean, literally no job is too small or too big or too small.
So when it comes time to settle an estate after someone has died, and you have to go through they have to go through the probate process or the trusts or whatever, then I guess you have to wait for all those legal clearances to come in before you can say, now we can go in and settle.
Yeah, we do. We want to make sure whoever's signing the contract with us is the rightful owner. So if it's a full estate where mother or father has passed away, then we just have to see the paperwork that the son is the executor of the estate and stuff, or whoever the executor is, to make sure that they're the legally able to enter the contract with us.
But in some cases, maybe somebody loses their spouse, and that remaining spouse says, I no longer need to live in this big house, then they would have the right to say,
Yes.
I have the power to make the sale happen.
Yeah, they can downsize, and they're looking to downsize and relocate or something, then yeah, we can help them with that process.
So as far as selling different estates and things, what is the consensus you get from a lot of the family members when you meet about the things that are in the house?
They don't know what to do. They're at this standstill. They don't know what to do next. What's the next step to be able to do this the most profitable way, but also the fastest way, so they can get the house listed on the market and get it sold so they can get the closure. So that's where we do everything we can to help them out. So right now, this time of year is usually always the busiest time of year for us. Everyone with downsizing or relocating stuff, they're trying to get it all done before the cold weather sets in. So we always urge everyone, once you're ready or once you think you're ready to start making that decision, go ahead and get in contact with us. Let us come meet with you face to face, see what you have and everything. That way we can see what option is going to work out best for you to speed up the process and everything, and give you some pointers on how to help you to speed up the process on going through things and stuff. So it just kind of depends on the house, the customer, and stuff. We kind of mold our business to fit the customer's needs.
It sounds like you guys are extremely busy right now with this season. So how far ahead do you think that people need to book with you guys?
As soon as possible. So we've actually, right now, currently being this time of year, just booked up 90 days in advance in 1 week. So we booked up that far just in a 1 week time period. So but it really depends on what the customer is wanting. So we want to make sure we can do everything for them, but we want to be able to do everything in a time effective reason. There is no good time or bad time of the year to do an estate sale. With the type of following that we have, we've had estate sales in snowstorms, and
People still come out.
people still come out. We have the diehard followers that they're there no matter what, rain, sleet, or shine. So that makes a big difference when it comes to that. So because everything is in the home, you don't have to worry about an auction and it raining and stuff getting wet, and you can't go outside. It's got to be postponed. We've never had to postpone a sale before.
Well, you mentioned people not knowing what to do at the beginning. The emotional aspect of getting rid of your parents' or grandparents' items is probably pretty strong on families. So you probably encounter a lot of that. Oh no, that's grandma's rocker, or that's grandpa's tools, or something.
Yeah, and I mean, personally, I would be the same way too. With my grandma's stuff or my grandpa's stuff and everything, I would be the same way. And I have to say, when they're unsure on what to keep or what to sell and stuff, I always just tell them it is your stuff. You are the rightful owner of it. So you just have to decide, am I ready to, do I want to keep the item for the memory, or am I ready to give the item up and just keep the memory?
So they have to make that tough decision sometime of what to keep.
So, but that's where the generation gap comes into, and see a lot of people in our generation now, or the younger generation, are not keeping as much of the antiques and the collectibles and stuff. They'll keep the memories and not the item. So that's where it's just kind of, the generation has changed a lot in on what's collectible and what's not collectible anymore.
So in the older days, the older people might have collected the thimbles or the salt and pepper shaker collection or whatever it might be, and the younger generation says, I don't really have a place to put that, and I don't know what I do with it.
Yeah, definitely. So when we encounter a lot of families that say, other than the photos, there's nothing in the house that I want. My home is set the way I like it. So I can live without any of it. So just get rid of it all. So
well, you mentioned earlier going through papers and so forth. If someone's been in a home or apartment, wherever, for a long time, there's a lot of papers you can accumulate. Whether you're a senior citizen or our age or younger, that you keep those receipts, you keep those tax forms, you keep all sorts of things. And
definitely. And that's where, if the loved one is not able to go through the stuff beforehand, we will go through everything. We'll set everything aside for them. We've even shipped it to them before, so we've gotten all the important documents and stuff out, all the family photos and pictures and stuff, and we'll set them aside, put them into a closet or a drawer or something for them, and they'll come get them at their time, or we'll mail it to them. So we'll do whatever the customer would like us to do for them.
Now, I've heard some stories of people who have settled estates where they go into, great uncle so-and-so house, and they open up a drawer and it's full of bread wrappers, or, big odd things that people keep. Do you encounter this sometimes where,
oh yeah,
what's this kept for?
The newspaper rubber bands and the bread ties and stuff like that. You're always going to find something in every house. So everyone has this little cork, as I call it, of stuff, something they always save. And it just kind of depends on what it is and where it's located at. So when we come into a house, we're checking the attics out, the crawl spaces, because you never know where someone hid something. We're going through every pocket in the clothes and dresser drawers and underneath the drawers and stuff, because you never know where someone hid something.
And that brings up, I've read that people will put, even the flour canister, they'll hide a ring inside the flour canister, or if they have ceilings in the basement that can be moved, they'll slide things up in the ceiling. So really, you need to really go thoroughly through a house when you're checking things.
We want to thoroughly go through everything and make sure that we, one, got everything, but also that the house is ready, because once we're done after the estate sale, the house will be completely emptied and cleaned. So we do clean the homes afterwards. That way it's ready for the family to do with putting it on the market if they're going to keep it or whatever. So they don't have to worry about bringing a cleaning service in or something to get the house clean.
So it's ready to either live in or sell if you need to afterwards. So you have a lot of things to consider. We're talking about, settling estates, but not only settling the final estate, but relocating, downsizing. That tough decision when you're downsizing for the generation, we've done shows talking to people, maybe they have to go to assisted living, and they know they can't take everything to that facility, and they've had that rocking chair for years and so forth. What can they take with them? Those decisions are probably a challenge too.
Yeah, they are, and it's always just going to looking at what's the most important? So what means the most in everything? But we try to help them out as much as we can, but they're the ones who make the final decision.
What they want to do.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned when we talked before that this isn't what people would think of as a profitable business, really. So doing it is really about the senior citizens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a service business and everything. We are. It's a great service. We've been in business now in this area for over 9 years. We were the first franchise in the Caring Transitions Network to start. And it's all about, for us, doing a quality service to the customers and everything for the area, because we just feel that there's no one out there that can do like what we do. So,
people want to know those services. People also watching, so what is a cost? Do you have a percentage? I mean, how do you handle fees? Because obviously it's a business.
Yeah, we work off the gross proceeds of the sale. So the customer never has to pay us anything up front.
Okay.
So it makes us work harder for our profits as well, because the more money the customer makes, the more money we will make.
Okay.
So we have a floating scale on a percentage that we use based on the size of the estate and what options they're wanting. So different options, from doing the buyout, doing an estate sale, and everything that needs to be done.
So all this is discussed beforehand with the family.
Yeah, discussed beforehand with the family, and then we do have a contract that the franchise provides us with and everything. So it is all in writing and official.
I noticed in your brochure it also mentions bonded, insured.
Yep.
A lot of people can offer to help. I'll help you settle your estate. What are some tips just in general for somebody who's looking for that assistance? What do you mean when you say I'm bonded and insured? What do they need to be looking for in those types of things?
Well, being bonded and insured and everything is for us to be part of the franchise. So it's we're a trustworthy and honest company, and that's the way we run our business. So you won't even hiring a contractor or anything, you want to make sure that they're licensed and insured and stuff to be able to work and do business with them and everything. So if something happens, then everything's protected.
So when people are asking questions and seeking, that's one of the questions they should ask for anyone who's going to help settle an estate.
Yep.
And I think, like you mentioned a little bit before in the show, the fact that you guys are a franchise, so there's so many different locations around North America, so that it makes easier moves, kind of, for long distance relatives.
Yeah, as long as there's an office in the area of where they're moving to and stuff that we can work with, then we can work with any office nationwide.
So I think you said that might look like, grandma sells most of the stuff in her estate, but she has just a few items or furniture that she's bringing. So she decides that she's going to pack it up in a semi, and when you guys send her off, the place where she's going is actually going to help her unpack and get settled.
Yep. We've done, the last one we just did was actually, lady moved from Tulsa to Joplin, the Tulsa office, packed up everything she wanted to keep, got it in the U-Haul. We met the U-Haul that afternoon and unpacked, and by the time she went to bed, she was totally unpacked and settled into her new home.
That's great.
So it's a very quick process depending on the size of the home and stuff. But then she was able to pay for the move and everything with the items that she didn't bring with her in the estate sale. So the Tulsa office was able to do the estate sale, and that's how she was able to pay for her move and relocate. Yep.
We're hearing a lot about families being separated today by mileage, that the kids don't live in the same town as mom and dad or the grandparents. So do you find that this is also, families are mentioning how this reduces stress for them, that they don't have to make so many trips to town to settle an estate?
Yes,
and
I mean, we've even done houses where we've never met the customer face to face. So we've done where they lived in West Virginia and we're here, and mother and father's houses in Baxter Springs. So we've never met the customer face to face, just talked on the phone and everything, and got everything settled and stuff. They gave us a list of items that they were looking for. We pulled those items, set them aside, shipped them to them, and then did the estate sale. So they've never had to make a trip up here to meet with us to get the process going or anything. So we can do it all over the phone.
So if you're inheriting grandma's antique clock or something, you will actually get that to the person who's inheriting that.
Whether they want us to mail it to them, set it aside, and they'll pick it up, or arrange for a delivery or something. So we'll do whatever the customer would like.
So do you recommend, from the seniors' perspective, the people who are maybe senior citizens, write those things down? If they have that antique clock or they have that cookie jar they want to go to Aunt Susie, to make a list.
Yeah. I mean, with anything, making a to-do list or something on, I want so-and-so to receive this. It's just like going to your will and everything. If you want to make sure someone's going to receive something and everything, having it in writing. So, but we always have, we never know what we're going to find in the house. And I mean, we always have little weird requests. I knew at one time she had this ring. It looked like this, but I don't have a photo of or anything to show it to you. We're not sure what happened to it.
So somewhere in this house it may be.
Yeah, somewhere in the house it could be, or a diary or something. So we keep an eye out, and
Right.
if we find something, then we'll send it to them, set it aside or whatever. So
Now, as you're going through some of the items, well, say they have a pantry full of food and so forth, are those types of things that you can give to food pantries or help out in the community that way as well? Or what do you do with those types of things?
doing that goes into whenever we meet with someone and everything, we discuss the clothing and any food. We'll go through all the food. Anything that's expired will be disposed of and stuff. We can either try to sell the food in the estate sale and stuff, or and what doesn't sell, then donate it, or we can donate it from right off and everything before the sale. So, and same with the clothing and everything too.
So much clothing may not be a big seller.
It depends on the clothing. It depends. I mean, vintage clothing and stuff is starting to come back. So we like seeing the vintage clothes and the furs and stuff, because that style is starting to come back now. So just kind of depends on the clothing and what they had.
So for a family member, you look, that's just grandma's old coat. An old coat with the fur around the edge might
Yeah.
be something somebody else
Yes.
wants.
Yeah.
But I might pick
yeah.
that up from a sale. Like, you
Yeah.
just never know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thrift shopping.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
So when families are going through these times of kind of maybe losing a loved one or trying to cope with these things, well, how do you think your services help minimize kind of any extra stress?
They don't have to worry about dealing with everything inside the house. So we're able to take all that stress off of them, whether it's they come in and go through the photos and stuff themselves, or they just don't want to do it at all. We go through it and everything and set it aside for them, and then do the sale and stuff and get the house emptied. That way they can get it on the market and get closure faster. So the whole process for us on an average house from start to finish can take anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks. Where a family member doing it on their days off, they only get 1 or 2 days off a week or something, it could take them a year.
Yeah.
So, and that's just reintroducing everything all over again every week. So we're able to come in and do it a lot quicker and get the closure for them faster.
So you have a staff that works with you that comes in
Yes.
and helps with all this.
Yes, yeah. So it's, there's about 5 of us now that work prepping the houses, and then we have about 6 working on sale days.
Okay. So on the sale day, the family member doesn't have to be there. They can go up
We
and-
suggest that they don't be there. If they'd like to stop by in the afternoon or something, that's fine, just to kind of see how everything went. But we suggest that they don't be there because it could hinder the sale.
It's too emotional for them
yeah,
too.
too
really.
emotional for them. But then if they're local and they know they're prominent in the neighborhood or something, someone may ask, I don't know if they would really want me to have this or not. So it could hinder the sale and stuff and make the sale not go as well.
So this remain that third
Yeah.
party that's not involved in transactions and
Yep.
what's going on. Well, Thad, I'd like to thank you very much for providing information. And Kristen, thank you once again for helping out
and
today.
thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I mean, providing, as we say, information as people need to not only settle estates, but the times of transitions we've been talking about. And we all have a lot of stuff, and senior citizens also do as well. So.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of good information.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for joining us this week as we had Spotlight on Senior Issues, a series looking at topics of interest to senior citizens as well as their family members. Hope you can join us again for upcoming episodes to find out more about this area of interest. We'll see you then.